play I'm Back from AC/DC, Back in Black, for a long time. So it's awesome to be able to start that way. Before I start, though, I think we should all give a standing ovation for Enrique. Who would have thought we could have turned this business back into a growth business? Just incredible. Just incredible. That said, I love that video of the dad with the photos, but I know you walked around with this, print renaissance in your Spanish accent, and I kind of didn't understand it because in the Coughlin household, my kids were not printing. They weren't interested in printing no matter what I brought home, until I brought home a sprocket. All of a sudden, this is my daughter, Dylan, all of a sudden, they're printing. My son, my daughter are printing. And so Sprocket is a great example of print renaissance. The only problem is that dad had like 12 photos. If you look at this, I only get one. The horse gets like 6 photos. So I have work to do. You've done your work, but you've done your work. I need to do my work. So we live in a day when lots of impossible things besides the Coughlin household are happening. The most interesting work being done in space isn't happening in NASA or Beijing or the Kremlin. It's being done by an aspirational entrepreneur. I lived in Chicago twice in my life, and I had season tickets, and it was brutal. For 108 years, it didn't happen, but the Cubbies, who's a Cubby here, good job. Cubby fan. I know Scott Totoro, amongst others. The Cubs finally won the World Series. Or Niemeyer, right? Who makes $22 million a year? For reference, that's 5 times more than Pele in today's dollars, or 50 times more than Babe Ruth made. And more close to home, as Dion cited, who would have thought that Houston could get so hit hard? A lot of the products and the amazing work that you've seen and the turnaround is driven by folks in Houston. So we are amazed by their bravery, by their resilience, and how they've all come together. And that's true for Florida as well as the other disasters. So let me take you back 1 year ago. We were near beautiful Boston Harbor. The PC category was declining 8%. So there we were, PC category declining 8%, and guess what? We weren't doing much better. So if I had told you that we would turn into a growth machine, what you probably would have said to me was, hell no. Remember that one from last year? That was fun. If I had told you we would grow double digits, you might think that's impossible. If I had told you that we would take #1 share from the folks in Beijing, you might have said that was impossible. If I had told you that we would take a bite out of you-know-who's share, you probably would have said, hell no. It's coming, hold on. But here's what you did achieve. Year-to-date, growing 11%. Can you wait for your cue? Your cue is here. What do you say? There we go. If I had told you that we would drive to #1 share, and I promise you this is true, there is not one piece of paper, and there's board members who can attest to this, that says we wanted to be #1 share. Not one piece of paper was it ever written on. We wanted profitable share. We mix shift to premium. And guess what? We became #1 because you executed against that strategy. So can I get a? Yeah. All right. So guess what? When we grow like that, you grow. And you grew faster because we mix shifted even further to the channel last year. You are the ones that drove this, which means more growth for your businesses. It means your sales folks make more money, go to better colleges, buy better houses, and you're able to invest in your businesses. So, for the last time and the biggest one, all right. So, in all seriousness, I am in awe of what you've achieved. Sitting there a year ago, nobody could have imagined what you've done. It's just remarkable. That said, talk is cheap. So I want to make sure you leave with a memento of appreciation. so that you're not only the fastest growing PC partner network, but you're also the coolest. So each one of you is going to get an Omen hoodie to take home with you. They've been moving around, but I think they're across the way is where they'll be after the show. Now some of you might say, can an Omen hoodie actually make me cool? Well, for those of you who are doubters, if it can make John Flaxman cool, it can make anybody cool. So pick up your hoodie. It's a token of appreciation for all of the great work that you've done. Many years ago, though, Dave Packard said, a company exists not just to make a profit, but also to make a contribution. And here, too, you have done amazing work. So when we work together, it means that we can deliver amazing experiences that reinvent lives. It means that we can provide notebooks and connectivity to more than 140,000 needy families in Costa Rica and 11,000 students in Chile. It means over 5 million, yes, 5 million kids got better learning experiences because of the work that we've done. It also means that we can provide critical technology for pediatricians to heal those babies who suffer from congenital heart disease. And believe it or not, it also means that we can help cancer patients treat their pain by diverting their attention in amazing VR experiences. These are outcomes that really matter. Together, we've reinvented lives in addition to driving fantastic results. And I'm very proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with you on that. So, if we go back in time, entrepreneurs like Bessemer, Meiji, and Carnegie created the industrial age. And that gave way to new companies like IBM, Microsoft, Google, who put data within our fingerprints. Now we're upon the next age, and Dion talked about the experience age, where things are now shifting and people expect a customized experience. Let's take a look at a video of how this is going to impact work.
Work. That used to be just a four-letter word. In the industrial age, we focused on efficiency, the assembly line, mechanization. Almost overnight, we learned how to work as part of our machines to make things faster and more productive than ever before in history. While that pace grew, nobody saw silicon coming. And when it did, work changed forever again. In the information age, we focused on instant access to communication, and we created tools that were undreamt of till then. PCs, networks, smartphones, and cubicles too. We fell in love with this stuff and expected wonders everywhere. Sometimes it brought us closer together, sometimes farther apart. For better or worse, we learned to work all the time, whenever and wherever we were. But we're at the dawn of a new era now, where work isn't just a job or the technology we use. It's about us being human and technology becoming humane.
For my part, I can't wait to start working. And my friends are the same. We're on it. We're ambitious. It's not just about getting things done. It better look amazing too. I want it to be easy and almost not there to let me create the way I do, naturally. I mean, technology should work like I do, not the other way around. To be simple, seamless, and nimble. It should get to know me, really know what I want to do next, and of course keep my stuff safe. Work, life, play, it's all one thing. I just want to be able to do my best work and connect with my squad, whether they're in the same room or across the world. It shouldn't matter. I can't wait to get to work with technology that makes me smarter, closer to the people I work with, more expressive, more, well, me.
So make no mistake about it, the office is changing and the workers in the offices are changing. Whether it's Gen Z, whether it is the millennials, they are changing, it is changing. And this is manifested in compute across the following 5 areas. Dion talked about one life. Lives are blending. Millennials expect work and personal lives to blend. We need to enable that. Over 81% say they do work in their personal lives. I'm sure a lot of us can commiserate with that. And roughly 60% do personal work at the office. Now, we don't admit that one. People expect to be connected, whether they're in the office, whether they're in Starbucks, whether they're on an airplane, or whether they're in a park. They want their data secure. Yet, 80% of companies have had intrusions in the last year, 71% from endpoints. So it's our job to solve that problem. And they expect devices to know them. They expect us to know that their hard drive's about to fail. They expect us to know that their battery life is down. And then lastly, it's services. More and more, 50% of commercial customers are actively considering or deploying services. This model is shifting. The time is now. So we take these insights and we drive them into our strategy, which has been consistent for 3 years now. In our core, our brilliant engineers and product managers and designers are dedicated to reinventing the PC, whether that be a 360, whether that be a curved all-in-one, whether that be a mini. In our growth bucket, we're focused on device as a service, retail point of sale, both of which are growing double digits. And in the future, it's immersive compute, manifested by VR and 3D scanning. Now, how many of you were here for the partner conference, the combined 4 years ago? Hands? All right, so many of you might have remembered this picture of my boss. Isn't it cool to be the CEO and say no more suits and ties? So, Dion did a trick called the Matryoshka trick, where he was showing how we got thinner generation over generation. So what I thought I would do, I didn't want him to think that we were a one-trick pony at that time, is I bring back the Matryoshka, and my friend Dustin is going to help me here. So this is the current 800 series. It's a mid-range PC, right? Beautiful. You sell a ton of these. Well, we can fit our new PC right inside of that. But not only can we fit a PC, we can add a hinge to it, and it is the world's thinnest commercial X360. Not only is it a beautiful X360, this is where I drive Alex's show, but it's mil-spec. So not only is it a beautiful consumer, but it's a commercial device with mil-spec, and Alex, I did not break it. All right, you have a thin as a blade Spectre 13. Could we possibly get any thinner than this? How do we innovate on a Spectre 13 this thin? Well, the way we do it is actually business model innovation. This is a check for $49 that a customer would pay us for a DAS deployment, right? So rather than just hardware innovation, now we're driving business model innovation that is sticky for all of you. Next, workstations. They have to be big and bulky because they do business critical work, right? Well, our engineers, our workstation engineers said, no, they don't really need to be. So this year we launched the world's first mini workstation. It's mini in size, but not in power, powerful enough to do all the heavy-duty design CAD type work that those employees want to do. So fantastic work by the engineers there. And then last, many years ago, displays like this, all-in-ones like this, changed how we view content, right? Well, content's moving once again. So inside this beautiful all-in-one is our VR backpack. So as content moves, we move with the content. And take the Matryoshka trick as an example of how we're continuing to evolve our business. So how about a hand for the engineers who are doing all this great work? Truly amazing and boundless thinking. So I talked earlier about one life. So millennials are coming into the workplace, and guess what? We're not doing a good job. 47% of them say they're not satisfied, or 53% say they're dissatisfied with their work device. They're expecting their device to be just as nice, just as beautiful, work just as seamlessly as their personal life. So what we're doing is reinventing devices. Whether those be the 360s, the Curve, we have the largest commercial premium launch in our history. I encourage you to see the tech showcase to see these devices. Truly amazing, like the 360 12-inch that I just shared with you. We're launching the Z8, the world's most powerful workstation ever. Let me repeat that. The Z8, the world's most powerful workstation ever. That's a value prop that we should be able to sell. And then lastly, a curved all-in-one. And there's so much more. I'm going to show you also how we customize this by customer type. But it doesn't really matter if you have great devices if they're not secure. And as I said earlier, 71% of intrusions happen on the endpoint. So we have a great opportunity to be in the driver's seat on the security strategy of our customers. We have absolutely the strongest security stack in the industry. Right? So if you look at device identity and data, from a device standpoint, we come with HP SureStart, the world's only self-healing BIOS. Let me repeat that. The world's only self-healing BIOS. From an identity standpoint, multi-factor authentication. So when the Secret Service lost their PC when they were protecting Trump, nobody could have gotten into that if that was an HP device. And then my personal favorite from a data standpoint, we are the only company that containerizes malware with our SureClick solution. When you're facing RFQs, we should be shaping the RFQs to have these solutions in them. In an environment where you have WannaCry, an environment where you have the latest whatever it is, you need to have these types of solutions. At the same time, we're also securing your data in plain sight. Let's take a look at a video.
West 5th Street. Hello?
Yes, I don't know how you could have done this.
What are you talking about?
The acquisition. It's everywhere.
No, Howard, I
How did
haven't...
the press get to this? And our stock is already dropped 24
No,
points.
this isn't happening. Everything was encrypted. There's no way. This can't be... I'll be blacklisted. It's impossible. Who could do this?
Wrapped up early, huh? Lucky you.
It doesn't make sense.
Situations like Equifax, which escaped me that second, highlight the importance of this. To be clear, we are the only company with built-in security screening today. 90% of the time, people look over, called visual hacking, it is successful. But as I said, services are driving a change in our business model. ITBMs are in a terrible position. They're being asked to manage legacy systems. At the same time, the CEO and the CIO are saying, I need you to drive our initiatives of the future. And guess what? Do it for lower budgets. You can take it from me, but let me show you a video where we went out and talked to some ITBMs about the paradox that they're in.
Everyone has the latest phone in their hands, the latest computer at their house. When they come to work, they expect that same experience or better.
Not only do we have the challenge of finding the right product for them at the desk, but now we have somebody that's working remote. The budget has stayed fairly flat and the demands have gone up.
A lot of organizations, their data is their lifeblood. It's an incumbent responsibility on IT to make sure that that data is safe regardless of where it resides.
We need to dictate to the organization what technologically needs to be done, which direction we're going to take, and what's best for our users. It's important for people that you're trying to retain going forward to understand that, hey, this organization gets it. Technologically, they're going to take care of me, and I'll be able to do my job year over year.
So that's the words of an ITDM. At the same time, last year, you gave us a lot of feedback. Some of it favorable, some of it constructive, and some of it rightfully a kick in the pants. So what did we do? We did over 135 workshops with partners in this room. That's one workshop every 3 days. You should see Bill Amy's passport right now. And what did we hear from you? We heard that you want flexibility to customize your offer. So sure, HP, bring tools, but I want to make it fit within my holistic offer. Number 2, you want to own the customer relationship. Totally makes sense. Number 3, you want to be able to bundle the hardware, the software, and the services. Number 4, you want to access partner-specific pricing. And then lastly, the thing I heard most loud and clear last year was, HP, you better bring IP, because we already have leasing deals, we already have solutions in this space, and you better bring unique IP. So you talked, our customer talked, and we listened. We created a cradle-to-grave, end-to-end device as service solution that brings into play everything that you asked for. First, we are uniquely able to manage multi-OS. That means Windows, iOS, and Android. We are uniquely able to manage PCs, tablets, phablets, even RPOS or VR. We uniquely are building an assessment tool that allows you to customize devices for the individual, and we'll demo that shortly. We uniquely will bring to bear proactive intelligence that enables you to say, hey, that hard drive is about to fail before it fails. Hey, there's a security vulnerability. Hey, that battery life will not take that VP from San Francisco to New York, let alone across the globe. So let me be clear, this is much, much more than leasing, and our route to market is through the channel. So we're looking to co-construct this with you. You asked this to fit into your end-to-end solution. We're building in that flexibility. And you asked for a good, better, best structure, which we're announcing while we're here today. So I talked about an assessment tool. What is shocking is 85% of ITDMs do not have any way that they deploy devices. What I see is here's how it works. A new employee shows up. If they're just kind of a middle-level manager, they're getting an 800 series. If they're in the C-suite, they're getting a 1000 series, and they're doing hardcore work, they get a workstation. It's not much more complex than that. We're developing a tool that allows us to customize it. So I'd like to invite Loretta up to the stage. Come on up. And Hardy, who is one of our millennial workers, and he's going to exemplify what a millennial is looking for. How you doing, Hardy?
Good.
All right, so Hardy, talk about what you're doing.
So I'm hoping you can help me out here. I recently started a new role. I'm traveling more, I'm doing different things. I think I deserve a new PC. What do you think?
Well, we're trying to retain you millennials, so okay. Sounds a good idea. So we're going to get Loretta to act as a TC supporting you, and she'll run what we call DeviceWise, which is our new tool. So first question. I know it's a loaded question. Are you a generalist or are you a VIP?
I guess I'm probably a generalist, a very important generalist.
I'm with you. Let's go with important generalist. All right, so your new role, do you travel a lot?
Yeah.
All right, and are you away from your desk a lot?
Definitely.
And how about connectivity? Do you need connectivity? You're meeting with customers a lot?
Yeah, all the time.
And I hear you work for Alex Cho, so he has a lot of those boring, long meetings.
Well, Alex doesn't know this, but since the football season started, I like to check in on my fantasy football team.
During the meetings?
Well, I mean, he doesn't know this.
All right, so let's make that even easier with a privacy screen, maybe?
Yeah, well, I mean, now that he knows, I could definitely use one.
All right, it sounds like you're getting a lot done in those meetings. You're probably like the rest of us on conference call after conference call.
Yeah.
And you want to use tablet mode some of the time?
Yep.
All right, Loretta. So Loretta's been using the DeviceWise behind me. What does DeviceWise tell us is great for Hardy?
Well, as Hardy's manager, based on his needs, and now that I know he watches fantasy football during these meetings, I think the best thing for him is the new EliteBook X360 with HP SureView. And along with that are all the displays, accessories, and services for where and how he works. Now, since there's no one-size-fits-all, the best way to implement this is within an as-a-service model.
All right, how about a hand for Hardy and Loretta? Great job. For those of you who were in Boca, you said, if you build it, we will come. Here it is. I told you we would do a demo on stage at GPC. Great job to the software team. This rolls out at the end of the year. This will change fundamentally how we sell PCs, how we customize. It'll create better experiences within the companies. So let me just kind of take you down history lane for a second. If I look at where we were a year ago, here's the tool set. We were very proud of that tool set. But a lot of you said, you know what, you're not bringing enough IP. We need more. In the spring, look at how much more our software team and our software leaders brought to bear. And we sit here today, even more robust solution. Let me make no mistake about it. This is the #1 priority in our commercial business. We are building this. We're dedicated. We will have the most robust devices service offering in the market. What I do not want to have happen is next year you say, you know what? I'm getting beat because I don't have devices service, and other partners lean in. Lean in with us. We will customize it with you, but we are making this shift. And if you need further proof, our devices service business is now scale. And more importantly, we are winning business with folks in this room. So can we turn the lights up? Anybody whose logo is here, please stand up. Please stand up. Come on, come on. No, stay standing, stay standing. Great work. Great work. Thank you for being pioneers on this effort. And I do recognize Monty 2 years in a row, so nice work there. For those of you who closed the deal in the last year, you're getting an Elite X360. We will ship it to you. Now, for those of you who felt like you just missed out, if you're a channel partner that closes a deal in the next year, that sales team will get Elite X360. Legal makes me say a qualified DAS order, but you will get a DAS. You will get an X360. So I look to give out a lot of those details to come. So now let me talk about the future. How we'll continue to grow dynamically decades from now. Well, we're focused on creating immersive experience and focused on VR and focused on 3D scanning. So last month we announced the VR backpack for commercial purposes, and I will tell you that our phones have been inundated with manufacturing, healthcare, auto players who want to engage and figure out how they use VR in their workplaces. And just last week, we announced a 3D scanning initiative called FitStation. We're up in 10 stores where we're scanning folks' feet and creating custom insoles printed on, guess what? Multi-Jet Fusion. So this is Dion's vision of blended reality that we talked about 3 years ago coming to life. We are today printing these with an eye to creating custom shoes. And you can imagine where we can take this technology into the future. So let me show you a video that brings VR and immersive computing to life.
They say that one day we will bridge the distance between the real and the digital seamlessly. That we will empower artificial intelligence with a sense of sight. That we will make houses, cars, planes, spaceships, and humans complete. And that tomorrow will be unlike anything that has come before. Some people talk about the future and what it's going to be like. We say it's already here.
Baby, we're better in
we are in our journey. We have tremendous momentum, but we still have phenomenal opportunity. So how many people here know how many championships Michael Jordan won as a Chicago Bull? Besides John Flaxman. Vote? 6, that's good. 6. He won 6 championships. So what do you think the mindset was after the first or second championship? It wasn't about reaching the mountain. It was about how do you create sustained greatness. That's the challenge in front of us. How do you create sustained greatness? So it starts with continuing to reinvent the PCs. Our engineers will continue to drive amazing designs. And what we ask of you is bring them to life in front of your customers as the differentiated products that they are. Second, make no mistake about it, there is nobody who has a comparable security stack as us. It is not easy to communicate, but get things like SureClick in those RFQs. It will change the game. Third, DaaS is happening. We are investing, we are going, we want to do it fully with the channel. We are here to collaborate. I've never seen something as collaborative as 135 workshops in the past year. Lean into DaaS, build it with us. Fourth, start building workflow solutions. We have 20 customers coming to Fort Collins figuring out how to deploy VR in their workflows. Lean into that with us. It will be the future. And then lastly, you have amazing sales and marketing assets. Let's activate them, partner with our channel marketing team to activate those. So I want to go back to where I started about making a contribution. Many of you may not know that we work with the Clooney Foundation on helping what many call the lost generation of Syrian refugees. We helped in Lebanon with over 3,000 PCs to give kids a brighter future. As I stand here today, we're working with the UN in Syrian refugee camps in Jordan. It's a sad but amazing story. Let me show you a video that brings our work there to life.
طلعت من سوريا بسنة 2013.
كنت مارس تدريس في سوريا مادة الرياضيات. صار لي 3 سنين بمخيم الأزرق.
أنا مدرس معهم بالمخيم.
تزوجت هون، اجتني بنوتة.
These are students who are educated, they had full lives, and they're rebuilding those lives in a new context. We're working with InZone and with HP to implement this program.
أول ما سمعت فيه جيت وسجلت. في فرق كبير بين إنه نعلم بالقلم والسبورة بين إنه نستخدم الإنترنت والحاسوب خصوصاً مادة الرياضيات.
It's a fun environment. It's meant to be an engaging space where students are identifying that the world around them is designed and that it could be designed differently so that they'll be able to eventually invite younger students into the learning studio.
في تعليم بالمخيم، بدي أتعلم رغم كل شيء واجهته حتى أوصل فكرة إلى بنتي.
راح أوصل إنه أحقق حلم إنشاء منظمة تدعم الطلاب اللي مش قادرين يمروا دراستهم.
يا ريت كل المخيم يكون عنده هالتطور والتكنولوجيا يمارسها.
Such an amazing example of the amazing work to reinvent lives that we do together, whether it is in Jordan, whether it is in Oakland, or whether it's in Asia. I stand very proud, shoulder to shoulder with you on that work. I understand, we get the lights, that the partner from SMS who worked with us in Jordan is in the house. Do I see? There he is. Let's give them a hand. Very, very much. Incredible work, and it makes us feel good about the work that we do. With that, thank you for listening, and thank you for really accelerating this business and making a difference. I'll hand it back to our fearless leader, Dion Whistler.